a second question is from Martin, is, does the budgeting process get easier with the the amount of movies that you do?
Does the budgeting process get easier? Not
That'd
really.
be a Kitty question.
I think, Kitty, would you like to answer this? Could you? No, it will never get easier because, the budget, even when I'm breaking down a budget, you have to, what I've learned over the years is I'll break down a budget, I'll do my breakdown, work out what stunts I need, how many different wigs I need for people. I kind of work out what is probably the prosthetic side of it and then sort of hand that over to Christian so that he can do the budget on that. But to be quite honest, what I've learned over the years is with a budget, irregardless of how big or small it is, you should always have a contingency in there. So for example, say if I've got a budget on a very low budget film and I've got a budget of say 5,000, then I would have a contingency of about 1,000. If I'm on a really big budget film and I've got a budget of maybe 250,000, which sounds an awful lot, but bearing in mind most wigs cost 4,500 to 5,000, it's surprising how it gets eaten up. If I've got a budget of 250,000, I'd probably have a 20,000 contingency that I'd build into it. And that's what I'd sort of discuss with the producers as well at the start, because obviously they need to know, usually when a producer, when I arrive on a film, they'd have done a budget and they'll say, okay, you tell me what you want, we'll tell you what we've got. But the way they break it down is they'll break it down into hair, wigs, prosthetics, consumables and things. And what I tend to do is I tend to kind of sort of like try to put it all together so that I am in charge of stealing a little bit off of something. If I've got a little bit left over in my wigs budget, I can move it into my consumables and things. It's like on my current production, we get through so much dirt. I mean, so much dirt. We really do. Our budget for dirt is way up in 15,000, 20,000. So you kind of sort of think you need to be prepared with a budget, and that's my best advice, is that always have a bit of contingency, and explain to the producer as well that worst case scenario, this is what we'll spend.
And being flexible.
You don't want to go over budget. You don't want to keep. I
suppose it's being flexible and trying to move some money from one place to the other, which hopefully I'd like to think that producers or people you're dealing with understand that flexible, that movement, rather than saying, no, that was for here only. It wouldn't be like that. Would it?
Every department would do it. Do you know what I mean? Every department would do it. And, if you think you're going to be in trouble, I mean, what I'll always do as well to safeguard myself and my lot, you can get a really bad reputation if you go over budget on films. Part of the reason that you kind of get asked by the big studios to work, obviously you sort of earn your spurs in this industry, but part of the reason as well is that they know that you can handle the big budgets. They know that if they give you £250,000 of their money, you're not going to spend 350. So you have to be really aware of where the money's going. But also, if you preempt a problem, and as I was saying, what I would always do as well is when I'm doing a budget, I will say, this is on the condition that no new storylines come up that I'm not prepared for. Because they might suddenly bring up a sort of a storyline where somebody's got a horn growing out the centre of his head and he's in sort of every single shot. So you don't know, do you know what I mean? So you just safeguard yourself all the time.
No, that makes
emails,
sense.
You know what I mean? People talk about having an email trail. And I used to really hate that thought. But you have to kind of make sure that you put everything into an email.